So they say that variety is the spice of life, but what does this mean if you're growing your own plants and crops? Well, in this video, we're going to talk about diversity and why it's a good thing if you want to grow the healthiest and tastiest food. So in some of my other videos, I've talked a lot about the importance of having lots of soil life, but it's also important to mix things up and have lots of different types of organisms. So we're just going to talk briefly in this video about biodiversity in soil and why it's a good thing for you. But before I do that, don't forget to follow the channel if you like videos that talk about soil and things that you can do to maximize the life forces it holds to grow healthier and tastier crops. And if you like this video as well, don't forget, give it a like, thumbs up as well. That really does help me. Back to biodiversity. So the first reason that biodiversity is really important in soil is this idea that variety is the spice of life. Now, when you're growing lots of different plants and crops, those crops interact through their roots with organisms in the soil, and it goes to follow that different plants like different organisms, and more than that, not just different organisms but different species within those hierarchies. So the more different types of bacteria and fungi that you have present in your soil, the greater the flexibility you potentially have when you're looking to change the plants and food that you're producing. Now, the other reason that diversity in soil is really important is to give the soil itself some resilience. And what I mean by this is pathogens and the susceptibility that your plants and crops might have to certain fungal diseases or pathogenic organisms that could cause them harm. If you have lots and lots of different types of species of bacteria or fungi in your soil, this is a great thing. It gives your soil the capability to offset or antagonize some of those organisms that look to cause harm. It really doesn't give them the foothold they need to become the prevailing, the winning kind of organism in that particular battle. So it reduces your risk that you're going to have problems with things like disease. Now, if we flip this model around and talk about why diversity or lack of diversity might be a bad thing and how this might be brought about, well, intensive monoculturing, something which in recent years modern agriculture has done a fantastic job of doing, can be a major factor. When you're growing the same thing over and over in the soil, you are in fact conditioning and driving out diversity. Now, one of the other reasons that biodiversity in soil is a good thing, especially when we're producing food, relates to that link between soil health and human health. When we're growing vegetables and food in the soil, some of those microbes do actually come through on the food, the raw food, and they actually enter the human biome and the human gut. And some of those organisms are really quite crucial to the function of the human body. Now, obviously, the more different types of organisms you have in the soil, the greater the diversity within the human biome or microbiome. And in fact, we know that there are a lot of bacteria that reside in the human gut. In an adult human, there's something like 1 kilogram of bacteria, and we eat lots of different foods, and so we need lots of different organisms to help process and release some of the key nutrients within that food. So if you have a really great and diverse soil in the first place that you're harvesting from, then some of those organisms will actually make it through into the human biome. So again, diversity is absolutely key. Now, last but not least, and this is slightly on a tangent, but still very relevant, is biodiversity being important to help mitigate things such as climate change or environmental damage. Now, we all know climate change, temperatures increasing, and that doesn't just apply to the ambient or air temperatures in the world, it relates to soil temperatures as well. And as the soils start to warm up, that drives out diversity in the soil. And so it means that soils are changing. They are dynamic organisms in their own right. They kind of drive and hold life forces. So actually we're limiting the capabilities of soil for the medium and long term as we lose diversity. So it's really important for lots and lots of environmental reasons, such as erosion, buffering, gas exchanges between the land and the atmosphere, to have loads of different species, this great bank of biodiversity in our soil. So when you're growing different crops and food in your soils, should be thinking all the time, how can I build in diversity into everything that I'm doing? So there we go, that wraps this video up. Just a short one today, a bit of a rant on diversity in soil. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, if you did, please give the video a like, thumbs up. That helps me to get this channel out to more people and spread the word. But for now, that wraps it up, and I will see you in the next video.